Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to Module I, Lecture 6. In this lecture, we shall discuss about the safe system approach. In Lecture 5, we discussed about the road safety audit, what is road safety audit, why we need road safety audit, what is the difference between crash investigation and road safety audit, different stages where the road safety audit may be applied, starting from feasibility stage to preliminary design to DPR during construction and then operation and maintenance, then the road safety audit process, and also indicated to you some of the common deficiencies which we normally find when we audit some of the roads in India. With this background, today we shall discuss about the safe system approach. A safe system approach within road transportation system is built around the premise that death and serious injury are unacceptable and are avoidable. That is the first thing. We are saying that death and serious injury, these are unacceptable and are avoidable. Second, it is recognized that road users are human beings and therefore, they inevitably make errors. All of us we make errors, and therefore, such errors may also lead to a crash. But human body can only withstand a certain level of kinetic energy before a crash will result in death or serious injury. So, first point, death or fatality and serious injury leading to particularly permanent disability, these are not acceptable and may be avoided. Second, we are all human beings. So, human beings make errors and which may even lead to crash, but we must understand that human body can only withstand a certain level of kinetic energy before a crash will result to death or serious injury. Therefore, the road system should be forgiving in nature, It does not mean that it should not happen that if as a driver I do a mistake or as a pedestrian if I do a mistake means I will be killed. So, the road system should therefore be forgiving and consider this vulnerability to avoid serious injury or death in the event of a crash. We may not be able to eliminate crash, it may happen, but the crash should not lead to fatality or should not result serious injury leading to permanent disability. Coming to the concepts of zero deaths and safe system, the zero deaths vision acknowledges that even one death in our road system is unacceptable and focuses on safe mobility for all road users. So, even one death on our transportation system is unacceptable, and we need to focus as per the zero deaths vision on safe mobility for all road users. A road is for all road users across all categories, age group, right. So, the idea was first adopted in Sweden way back in 1997 as fission zero, then it became increasingly acceptable to others, and reaching zero deaths requires the implementation of a safe system approach, what we are talking about today, and trying to understand what is really the safe system approach. So, the safe system approach and zero deaths, they are actually interrelated, right. What are the primary guiding principles? There are, maybe we can call 6 guiding principles. I have mentioned already some of those when I was in the first slide itself, trying to give you an introduction. 1, death or serious injuries leading to disability are unacceptable. That is the first thing. Second, accept that humans make mistakes. Third, humans are vulnerable. Only certain level of kinetic energy we can tolerate before, when a crash occurs, to decide whether the fatality will occur or major injury will occur. These 3 I mentioned here in the first slide itself, right. Human beings make error, human body can withstand only a certain level of kinetic energy before a crash results in death, and death or serious injuries are unacceptable. So, first 3 are this. Fourth one, responsibility is shared. What I mean by that? All stakeholders together must ensure that crashes do not lead to fatal or serious injuries. We cannot simply give the blame to road user. It is road user's fault, so he died or she died. We cannot say that. It has to be, yes, it is obviously the responsibility of road user. If you are a driver, it is your responsibility as well to drive safely following the rules and regulations, the speed limits, to everything with a proper driving license. Yes, same is true for a pedestrian as well. If a pedestrian is crossing the road, it is also pedestrian's responsibility. But what we are considering in the safe system approach, that it cannot be only the blame to the user, that it is your fault and so this fatality happened. No. So, I have shown here who should be all the key stakeholders in a road safety framework, starting from educational institutes to media to corporates to police enforcement, health department, transport department, road department, insurance agencies, tourism, hospitality industry, vehicle manufacturers, driver training and licensing agencies, all are stakeholders, all have to take responsibility. Nobody can say, no, it is not my job. All have to take responsibility, right. So, that has to be, can't blame only the road user or can't escape giving the blame to the driver or to the pedestrian. So, responsibility is shared. Next, safety is proactive, not it. Our basic focus should be proactive. What do you mean? In last class only I talked about the road safety audit. So, proactive tools should be used to identify and mitigate latent risks, rather than waiting for crashes to occur and reacting afterwards. Clear? So, it has to be, safety is proactive. We have to use proactive tools like the road safety audit to identify and mitigate risks, rather than waiting for crashes to occur and then reacting afterwards. Last, redundancy is crucial. What I mean by that? Reducing risk requires that all parties of the transportation system are strengthened, so that if one part fails, the other part still protect people. That is why it is the system. Everybody together like a team. Say, I should give driver training properly and then only hand over the license to a driver. So, my driver training also has to be proper, my enforcement also has to be proper, my road design also has to be forgiving in nature, my post crash care has to be excellent. Now, when multiple things fail, then only fatality will happen. Otherwise, if driver is not proper, the road will take care of it. If the road is not so good, maybe the enforcement can take care of it. Even if otherwise crash occurs, maybe the speed management should have taken care of the things. Even if crash occurs, the immediate care, post crash care could save the life. So, redundancy is crucial. Reducing risk requires all parts of the transport system to be strengthened, so that if one part fails, the other parts still protect people, and end of the day we are able to achieve a state where eventually in long run we eliminate the fatality and serious injury. A quick comparison between the traditional approach and the safe system approach. Traditional approach, in a way, indirectly or directly, whatever way you say, assumes that traffic deaths are inevitable. So, we are forecasting the fatality, how the fatal accident changes with what factors. Of course, there could be multiple other reasons for doing a forecast or doing a modeling. So, please do not take my statement in a negative way, but as if like okay, deaths are inevitable. You will go and talk to people, they will say, oh, drivers are unruly, pedestrians do not know anything, and in this system obviously the deaths are inevitable. Some deaths will occur, but safe system approach or vision 0 considers that traffic deaths are preventable, death we can prevent. Traditional approach attempts to prevent crashes, fine. Safe system approach prevents fatalities and serious injuries. Even if crash occurs, that should not lead to fatality or serious injury. Traditional approach considers improve human behavior. Safe system approach tells that design the system for human mistakes or limitations. Create infrastructure which is forgiving in nature. Try to do that. Create environment where human behavior, even if they want to be unruly, they will get restricted. They cannot be so unruly. Individuals are responsible as per traditional approach. Safe system approach said it is a shared responsibility. All stakeholders have to be responsible. In traditional approaches, generally we react based on crash history. In safe system approach, we say proactively identify and address risks. Last but not the least, saving life is expensive. Safe system approach directly consider that saving life is not expensive. We need a systematic approach. That is what the safe system approach. Following the key pillars, we can save life. It is not expensive in that sense. Anyhow, life, always we should save life. There is no argument. Coming to then next, what are the components of safe system approach? There are traditionally 5 pillars, 5 major components I should say. Here also recently people are using it. So, road safety management is also considered as another component, which is basically in some way or other integrating all the 5 components together, you can say in that sense. But here I have again shown traditionally people consider 5 elements: safe roads and roadside, safe speeds, safe road user, safe vehicle and effective post crash care. These are the 5 fundamental or basic components, and then overall the road safety management. You can consider it as a bigger umbrella in that sense. Coming first to road safety management, it is the key enabler for delivering the safety interventions. Certain key elements of a good practiced road safety management may include the following. For example, adopting a safe system approach to addressing road safety. Everything, the whole approach, overall team is working based on the safe system approach. Second, undertaking a road safety management capacity review and then implementing the findings. Third, providing strong road safety leadership through a lead agency. If you go state wise, every state, it is a joint responsibility, fine. Multiple departments of the government are involved, even health, education, transport, enforcement, multiple departments are involved. Road development departments also may be urban development authority, public works department, so many others, panchayat and rural development department, they also build road in many states in India. But we need a strong lead agency. So, providing strong road safety leadership through a lead agency, that is very important. Establishing a road safety management framework with key performance indicators, clearly identified key performance indicators, including the requirement of requirements for data collection strategies to effectively plan things and monitor also road safety activities and outcome. All the stage, data collection strategies to effectively planning the things, monitoring, everything is included. Also building road safety capacity across the sectors. And finally, developing and adopting ambitious strategies and road safety targets with regular reporting on the progress. We need to set targets, but only setting targets will not help. There should be a strong leadership, lead agency must lead it, plan it, monitor it, right, and regularly also review the progress, whether we are able to really achieve. Next, safe road and roadsides. Infrastructure intervention to improve safety outcomes by eliminating fatalities and serious injuries. We want infrastructural interventions, what all we can do with the roads and roadsides to ensure that we eliminate fatality and serious injury. All infrastructural interventions to create a safe roads and roadsides for all road users. So, basically designing to accommodate human mistakes and injury tolerance. We say infrastructure itself has to be forgiving in nature. We cannot say that we have simply built the road, so the blacktop surface is very good pavement condition, geometry is very good and I have done my job. No, we have to ensure that we are creating safe roads and roadside. So, the road development agency also cannot think that I have done my job because I have built the road. The engineering part of it, say creating good pavement and surface condition, that is not the only thing. We have to think of the road users, all age group and their safety, and end of the day the infrastructure should be forgiving in nature. So, we can should be infrastructure should be able to accommodate human mistakes and must recognize the injury tolerance. That is kind of arrangements, that kind of infrastructure we need. Should start with the need for the most vulnerable road users and then progress through to the safety needs of the least vulnerable, the whole range, but starting from the most vulnerable. Could be a challenging task, especially in low and medium income countries, because we have diverse traffic mix, we have low user compliance level, there are different multiple authorities who are having their power. I mean, police may do something, transport department do something, local authority may do something, local administration may decide to do something, multiple levels, the hierarchy, very difficult, challenging. But yes, we should be able to address those challenges effectively to create a better and safer road environment as per the safe system approach. If we want to reduce fatality, road fatality and improve the country's performance. Several examples are there. We will discuss also little bit in more details. I have one more lecture, next lecture also some of the interventions we will show. But here some quick examples. What could be like interventions related to safe road and roadside? Many things are possible. I have mentioned a few here. Say roadside and central barrier system on high speed roads. The moment we are thinking of high speed road, we must have roadside and central barrier systems on high speed roads. Then physically separating vulnerable users from the other road users. We know the human injury tolerance criteria. So, how we can segregate, how we can create not only the load, but the footpaths, walkways, safe walkways, segregated walkways, safe crossing facility. If we have a bus stop, then how people will cross, right. So, if there are market areas, then obviously people will walk, people will use bicycle. So, physically how we can separate vulnerable users from the other road users. Any interventions will come under this category. Infrastructure that supports speed reduction when required. Speed is one very important factor. I will here also I will discuss, and the last lecture of this module is dedicated on that only, speed management. So, speed is very, very important in the context of fatality, road fatality. So, wherever speed reduction is necessary, then the infrastructure should be supportive. That means, let us create, if we know that we do not want speed more than this, then my infrastructure itself should create a deterrence if somebody wants to travel higher than the safe speed limit. So, do infrastructural intervention, make it difficult for the road users to travel at a speed beyond the safe speed limit. Enforcement, yes, that is there, right, but the infrastructure itself should help me to achieve that. Then alerting road user to hazards, maybe pedestrian, maybe to motor vehicle user, so many forms you can do it. Next, going to safe speeds, very, very important. Humans are unlikely to survive high speed crashes, as I say, the human injury tolerance. All over world, people are recognizing, people are accepting this. Reducing speeds can accommodate human injury tolerance in three ways. First, reducing impact forces, obviously speed is reduced, the impact force is less. Providing additional time for drivers to stop, I get more time. See an object, want to stop, I get additional time. So, provide additional time, also improving the visibility, the vision, right. So, particularly in Indian context, where anywhere and everywhere people are crossing the road and the school children may come right straight on the carriageway or trying to cross the road without looking at the traffic, that kind of thing. A driver has to be vigilant about the roadside and the environment. So, there the reduction in speed can help. Also here I have shown something very interesting, that depending on the impact speed, how the death risk, serious injury, slight injury risk will change. You can see that the speed is going, the death percentage risk is increasing, right. Death percentage risk is increasing. So, higher speed, higher fatality, directly related, and 30 to 60 the percentage risk is increasing from 10% to 95%. Just imagine a single factor so powerful, and we must recognize this. There is a direct causal link between speed and safety outcome. Here also it is shown. The fatal crashes, serious injury crashes, minor injury crashes, and you can see the maximum gain we can get in terms of reducing the fatality, risk of fatality. No other risk factors that have such a substantial and pervasive impact on safety as speed. It has an impact on both the likelihood of crash occurring, that also we are getting reduced, and also the severity of the outcome, that is again very important. If infrastructure cannot be improved in the foreseeable future and a road has a high crash risk, then managing speed can be a crucial alternative. So, make the roads such that, do the design and make all features such that the traveling at a higher speed is not even possible. If you cannot do that, then the speed management, supporting by appropriate and competent enforcement to support compliance, is very, very crucial, because it can bring lot of benefit, especially in reducing the fatal accidents, or reducing fatal accidents, or even reducing the fatality. Next third, going to safe road users. Safe system approach addresses the safety of all road users, including those who walk, use bicycle, drive, ride transit, or even travel by other modes. Safety for all road users. Now, maximizing road users' behavior that is compliant with road rule is an important issue. Human errors rather than deliberate illegal behavior is an important contributor to fatal and serious crashes. That is what we are saying. The human make error. The illegal behavior, deliberate violation is one part of it, that is handled through enforcement, but human error is slightly different. Problem is there both in terms of human error and also the illegal behavior, deliberate violation, both exist. Now, we need to take measures to reduce the prospect of human error need to be taken to guide use of the network. So, we need to take appropriate measures to reduce the prospect of human error. There are several methods for improving road user behavior, which may include implementation of driver licensing, proper driver licensing, proper training, education, enforcement, monitoring, for example, through vehicle telematics and road safety campaigns. But remember that one thing again, as per the safe system approach, not only focusing on driver education and awareness. Yes, it can bring some benefit in some cases, right, but the other things are equally also important. Creating infrastructure, try to influence human behavior through infrastructure, try to influence human behavior through technology and enforcement, much more effective, right. But yes, drivers should know, we cannot ignore this part entirely. I mean, if you look at the traditional way the driving licensing has been done in many of the low and medium income countries, it has been used just as an instrument for employment generation, not without education and knowledge and skill the driving licenses have been given. It has been largely taken as a skill development activity, how to operate steering or gear or clutch, but I am driving on a public road where other road users are there, other vehicles are there, pedestrians are there, bicyclists are there. For it is equally important for me, it is very, very important to know all the rules, regulations and safe driving tips. Ultimately, if we think that we will just give the license and we enforce with the help of police and correct the system, it will fail. So, education is also important. Giving proper education and proper training to the driver, creating awareness among the school children, all these are important. But we are saying we also have to look at the other side, that how we can, people may make error, but that should not lead to death. So, the create infrastructure, forgiving infrastructure to handle such situation. If speeding is an issue, our infrastructure can that also take care of that thing? Can we say that if this stretch of the road, this should be the speed limit, the infrastructure can deter, can it act as a deterrence for high speeding or traveling at a higher speed, or enforcement, can it also be effective? Anybody violates will be caught, no tolerance there as well. Those are important also. So, stringent enforcement, education, awareness can play a crucial role to reduce human errors on road. Then safe vehicles. Vehicles are designed and regulated to minimize the occurrence and severity of collision using safety measures that incorporate the latest technologies, and road safety agencies must promote the benefits of safety features and overall vehicle safety level. Unfortunately, the vehicles which are in low and medium income countries, many cases are deficient. They want to, vehicle manufacturers want to bring down the price to make things competitive, but many times they cut the safety features. That is a major concern. So, safe vehicle is also important as safe infrastructure, safe drivers, right, efficient enforcement, like that the safe vehicle. As I say, system approach, every component has to work. If the vehicle is design is proper, if it is a safe vehicle, naturally the fatality will come down. Vehicle also has a role to play, that we must recognize. Only we cannot blame the road agency or road development authority or the police. Vehicle also is important. So, many opportunities for improvement still exist in the vehicle safety features available in LMIC markets. People need to be again aware, and government also has a role to play, that the vehicles should not be allowed which are having some sorts of compromised road safety features. Then last but not the least, very important thing, effective post crash care. When people are injured in a collision, crash has happened somehow, then they rely on emergency first responders to quickly locate them. If crash has happened, what people expect? The others will locate them, that yes, there has been a crash. As quickly as possible they should be located. Then they should also, people should help them to stabilize their injury and then transport them to medical facilities. This is again important. All other components are important, but this is also important for saving life and avoiding fatality or major injury. Fatal and serious outcomes are directly related to how injuries resulting from road traffic cases are handled immediately. Immediately is very important here. Immediately after the accident occurs, as well as ongoing care and rehabilitation. Through all these, again lot of benefit in terms of reducing or bringing down the number of fatalities is possible. Improving the effectiveness of post-care crash care or post-crash response care may include one, multiple things, but here I have mentioned a few. Training of first responders, including community members. Sometimes on highway system in our country, I believe that the other drivers sometimes will be the first visitors in the crash spot. So, community members, others whom you think, even the drivers and emergency medical staff, training for them, train them how to handle, how an injured person is to be removed. One has to learn that. Wrong way of removing a person may cause permanent disability. So, they should be trained, and the training needs to be comprehensive and must follow the best practice principles. Second, provision of adequate equipment for emergency response units and trauma units within hospital. You transfer it, but if the hospital is not equipped with all the things that are required to treat such accident victims, then nothing, finally end of the day nothing is going to happen. So, this is also very important. Last is safe system implementation. Progress in LMICs, low and medium income countries, depends heavily on substantial expert support to accelerate a learning by doing approach. That has to be the thing. We do not have many cases experience. So, learning by doing approach is highlighted here. So, depends LMICs depend heavily on substantial expert support to accelerate a learning by doing approach, right. We need to accelerate the learning and by doing approach. The pathway to safe system implementation may include a number of things which are very important, say commitments from the head of different agencies and stakeholders. There are multiple stakeholders, I have mentioned this, right, including the lead agency to all other departments. So, there must be commitments, strong commitments from the head of different agencies and stakeholders, adopting aspiration to eliminate FSIs, fatal and severe injuries in the long run. That should be the dream, and dream, not only dream, dream with action and systematic approach, safe system approach. Conducting a management capacity review and identification of investment plans, planning and design of multi-sectoral safe system demonstration projects. These demonstration projects are extremely again meaningful and practical, and establishing a reliable national crash data system. I am happy that the country is really moving in right direction, many good things are happening. We have to keep our patience, enhance our understanding, and you know there are a lot of challenges. Many things are happening, but many more things should happen also, right. So, it is a long way, not so easy, path is not so easy, but yes, a lot of positive things are happening. So, here I have shown another representation, core elements and action areas of the safe system approach, principles what I have mentioned, then already, then what are the core elements and what are the action areas, starting from land use planning to street design and engineering, speed management, improved mobility options, enforcement law and regulation, education and capacity building, vehicle design and technology, and post crash emergency response and care. These are all different action areas. This is again another very interesting representation, so I wanted to include it also under core elements and action area. So, what we discussed focused on safe system approach. We said what is safe system approach, what we do, what are the guiding principles, how the traditional system and safe system, what are the key differences, then what are the components of the safe system approach. Each component we discussed, we addressed little bit, and then the last is safe system implementation, what I have shown you, that how, what are the pathway to safe system implementation, what are the elements or necessities. So, with this I close this lecture. Thank you so much.